A demanding role which has required her to learn wrestling. And as if acting wasn't enough, she's had her own rock band called Toyah and many chart successes to her credit. Strange looking back at 3 years ago.
God, a chubby thing.
You're not a bit. Not a bit.
That was wonderful. That was in Ireland. Great audience. And later that night, I fell into the audience, and they sort of ripped my costume to pieces, and it was one of my favourite costumes as well.
Oh, you mean you surely you had something left underneath it?
Oh yes. I just left dressed, but they nicked the best bit of it, which was all the painted bit.
You're the girl that Terry Wogan has described as looking like an unmade bed. I'm really pleased to meet you. You know,
apparently that's supposed to be a compliment.
Was it?
But my mum's after him for that. That really upsets her.
These men pass around comments about girls getting up in the morning looking the way they do, and really they have no right, have they?
Oh, no, not at all, not at all.
Hang on. My mum is also after Terry Wogan, who's said nasty things about me, so don't feel he's always...
What has he said about you?
Well, I can't remember, but he's always knocking me.
Oh, we should form a society. Rock against Wogan.
I'd love the cameras to pick up the back of your hair, because it's been fascinating. It looks like little weasels' tails, doesn't it? Look.
It's supposed to be like
all these
animal skin.
Little touch. What did you do that for? Why did you go and have that done?
Well, one of my hairdressers called Robert Lebetta sort of was nagging me to grow my natural colour back, which is black. And one of the only ways to introduce my natural colour is by really putting it in the ends as well, so it won't look too bad when the roots grow back. But another reason is it's very animalistic, and the part I'm playing at the moment, Trafford Tansy, is quite an aggressive part. And I thought it'd be nice if, while she's flying through the air and fighting men, if the hair looks like an animal as well.
I see.
Trying to introduce that instinct into the play.
Do you find that many children follow your style to the letter and will go out and get their hairdressers to do that, or fiddle around?
Well, not so
themselves
much children, because I always advise that young kids should not go about dyeing their hair. I mean, it's not good for you, really. But a lot of teenagers, say from about 15 upwards, kind of copy me. But I think you should create your own look, because this is part of my personality. This is part of me. It's not a contrived thing at all.
But you have a tremendous following, and also therefore a tremendous responsibility to the young teenagers who are there copying you or looking to you.
I'd never encourage anybody to damage themselves in any way. This machine is so important to us all, and we must love and respect it.
OK, Toyah, we'll come back to you. We're going to talk about your new Trafford Tansy play, so we'll have a long talk about that.
But can I ask you, finally, don't you get doors shut in your face when you appear in places looking like that? You say you don't dye your hair. You once changed your hairstyle and colouring every day for a week.
Oh, yes.
Don't people say, go away, you can't come in here
Not so much
like
in England. In foreign countries, I've actually had harassment from police because of the way I look. They just think I'm up to no good, which is quite frightening when you're in a country where you can't talk the language, and heavies with guns on them drag you away at an airport. You're terrified.
Yeah.
And it's usually because of the way I look.
Yeah, you should wear a suit like me, nobody harasses you. Well, now that we move that little simp over the left-hand part of your body means.
Do you mean that?
Have you finished, have you?
I'm sorry, Frank, yes.
It does take it out of you, doesn't it?
I'm absolutely...
That explains everything.
Good for the blood, eh?
Toyah Wilcox here is our guest of the day, and she's been listening to you with rapt attention, haven't you?
Oh, yes.
Do you believe the things that Russell says?
Well, oh, yes, but most days I don't even read a horoscope, because in case it's bad, I'll believe it's bad, and things like that. I don't
Can you guess Toyah's birth sign?
Well, Taurus. Toyah Taurus. Now, that was a faux pas. Well, no, it wasn't actually. I always think that Toyah reminds me of like a lump of wholemeal bread. There's something secure. Well, it is. A mouthful is all you need, because it fills you up. And there is this wonderful earthiness about you, so there's no doubt it's Taurus as far as I'm concerned. The security factor, I believe, is important to you. Simply because there is a need to have that security around you. Do you find that, especially on material things?
Yes, I find that within this profession, the profession I'm in, you need the security of knowing that you've got work the next day. I find that very important. As for emotional security, I'm quite a jealous person.
Yes,
by
it can be a
birth sign.
possessive sign, yeah.
Terrible temper when it goes. I am definitely the bull. you know, in the china shop when
Tell you what, you hit the nail on the head when you talked about her being energetic, and I mean, she is an immensely energetic lady.
A tremendous amount of power as Taurus. I mean, it can go on forever. It's like a marathon runner of the zodiac, and it's very sensual. It loves to touch, tactile. Very often it gets its relationships through just touching someone without anything else. There is this need to be very close to people, and the loyalty factor, that must be important to you.
Oh, yes, without being smug, I am loyal.
To a degree.
But I haven't noticed I need to touch people.
Don't you? It's because you're on Sofa B. Sofa B, you never touch anyone. But on the last 2.5 years has been a very important transforming time. In fact, now, Toyah, over the next year, you can do your own thing. But I would suggest that come about 84, 85, when Saturn begins to oppose your sun sign, it's a very, very good time then to live off of what you have been doing. So I would build now for 84, 85.
Well, actually, we do now want to see her now.
Yes, I was going to say, let's take a look at Toyah in action.
Doing her thing.
She's currently starring in Trafford Tansy at London's Mermaid Theatre. But as though acting isn't demanding enough, she also has her own rock band, Toyah, and many chart successes to her credit. And here she is now. I wonder why you bother acting when you can sing like that. Hmm?
Oh, acting fulfills the soul.
Does it?
So does music, I suppose. I'm just greedy.
But everyone there was looking at you, reacting
God.
with you,
the audiences
being with you.
can be so wonderful. I spark off the audience. I get my energy from the audience reaction.
When you talk about the audience, who are you thinking of? What kind of age groups are you talking about?
Everybody. I mean, we get kids about 5. We even had a guy called Raymond who followed us around, who must have been quite near 40. Who was quite stunning, you know, and they all bop along in the audience. It's lovely to see people enjoying themselves. The atmosphere is great.
I was wondering if you belong more to the punk cult. You know, I was looking at your hair and your dress and everything.
Not really, not anymore. I started off in that field. Punks are very proud people and their music is quite political. My music is based in fantasy, really, and my politics are quite bizarre and quite naive. So I'm not really a serious punk person.
You just sound so mature too, don't you? Toyah, thanks a lot. We'll come back later on to you and have a little chat. I think Frank now.
Yes,
to America, and I wanted to find out which way I can take my money best there, you see.
Going to America, well, the one thing about America, which you must remember if you haven't been before,
Isn't.
Been performing prodigious feats of strength, both on the stage and here in the studio. Hey, show us your muscles.
Oh, well, Mum will kill me. This is what's happened to me in 2 weeks.
Oh.
Not small, eh?
Did you get that?
Picking up men.
Do you have a quick practice?
Well, I told you if you said that, the press would say Toyah Willcox picks up men. I mean, that's what they do.
Right on.
But
No.
it must be making you feel terrifically well, because
Very well indeed.
I have a vague memory of days when I was fit, and you do feel much better.
Oh,
don't you?
yeah. I must say, like, the whole cast have been through what I've been through. And they're wonderful people to work with. I enjoy it so much. I never like to leave the theatre each night because they're such great people.
But they enjoy being jumped on by you because you jump on them from a height, don't you? And lift them and...
We jump on each other. It's wonderful. It's such a good play. It's a brilliant play.
And does it all take
in the
part?
wrestling ring?
It takes place in the ring?
In the round, so that you're surrounded by the audience. But, I mean, the play carries itself. It's so exciting. And it's for the whole family, really. The language is a bit strong here and there.
But what does it say? I mean, it's a curious allegory, isn't it, to use a wrestling ring?
Well, for me, it's about a woman who's so gullible. She's taken in by her husband, and the husband's having an affair with her best friend. And she turns around and says, well, why should I take this? I'll get you back at your own game, and he's a wrestler. So get him back by wrestling him. And not through strength, but through speed. And being quick with the brain, as
so
it were.
there's argument wrestling as well as that.
She wins. She catches him out because she's quick and he can't get hold of her, as it were.
You're a very articulate lady, and you've packed a tremendous amount into your life so far. You're 24, no more than that. Is that a bit like you? I mean, are you argumentative and determined to say things and have a strong point of view about many things?
Only when I'm used. I hate being used and I hate being lied to. The profession's still a very male profession, and one thing I won't take is I'm having the wool pulled over my eyes. I'm not so much argumentative. I stick up for myself rather than remain silent.
You don't trust people too much, do you?
Oh, I do. But once lied to, then I don't trust people.
You must give Alison a couple of tickets for Trafford Tansy, because I know she's desperate to go and see you
I'd
there.
love to go. I used to be quite keen on male professional wrestling. I used to run a magazine on that, so I'd love to see how the women cope, how
Did you?
cope doing it. Yeah.
Did you?